All right, so you guys know I'm starting to make a little bit more videos here, so we're going to be answering one of the questions that we got on our Instagram page, and that is how to fix poor posture. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't much more information other than that, so I'm going to assume that you mean poor posture, meaning rounded shoulders, a little bit of kind of a rounded upper back, that sort of thing. There are different types of poor posture. Some of them include kyphosis, lordosis, flat back, sway back, and I swear I'm not just making things up that rhyme here, but I'm going to assume that you mean the most common form, which is going to be a little bit of that kind of shoulders forward, the most typical one that you think of when you think of poor posture. Now, Mayo Clinic has a very, very good picture that shows generally what a typical spine should look like. You'll notice that it's almost kind of like a stretched out S, right? So that's what a normal spine should look like. This one here is what kyphosis looks like. So kyphosis is judged by a forward flexion of the spine over 50 degrees. And generally that's going to be in people, it's most common in older people. I know that judging based off your age, and I've kind of seen you before, it's unlikely that you should kind of have kyphosis. However, there's a good chance, maybe you've got something like those rounded shoulders, kind of poor posture like you asked about, right? So we're going to be going over a couple different exercises and kind of a couple different things that could contribute to poor posture and how to fix it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about that kind of contributes to poor posture would be tight muscles on the anterior or the forward portion of your body. So that would be things like your pectoralis major, minor muscles here. Now, what happens is when you get these muscles that are tight, you're unable to actually bring your shoulders back, right? So that it makes a lot of sense, right? If something's tight, you can't really pull on it, you can't really bring it to where it should be, right? The second thing that can kind of contribute to it, which is actually very, very surprising, is your latissimus dorsi. Now, you would think that your lats, which are on your back, how can those cause your body and your shoulders to round forward, right? That doesn't make sense. Well, actually, your latissimus dorsi, although it's on your back, it comes around to the front of your shoulder and actually it attaches to the anterior portion of your shoulder. So, same thing, when that muscle is tight, that can contribute to that forward kind of rounding of the shoulders, which can kind of contribute to poor posture. Now, the second big thing that can contribute to poor posture would be weak or underactive muscles on your back or your posterior side of your body. So more specifically, we want to talk about the muscles that cause your shoulders and your scapula, aka your shoulder blades, to be able to kind of go back and pinch those shoulders back into proper posture, right? So there's a couple of really great exercises that we can use to help kind of bring those shoulders back once we've kind of loosened up that chest. And those would be exercises that focus on a couple of different main muscle groups, and those would be your rhomboids. So here's a very, very great picture by Lecturio, and basically they do a really great job of outlining the different muscles from kind of deep muscles to a little bit more superficial muscles. So we want to target muscles like our rhomboids as well as our trapezius, as these are some of the two main muscle groups that kind of help to kind of pinch those shoulders back. So off the top of my head, coming with some of the best exercises that would help with that would be something like wall angels. You can kind of look those up. Another really, really great one would be any sort of kind of exercise where you're forced to kind of bring those shoulders back and pinch them back, right? So even things like W's, T's, and I's, same thing, look those up using very, very lightweight. So those would be kind of the main things that you want to focus on when you're trying to fix your posture. All right, so I really wanted to focus on one last thing actually, and that is practicing proper posture. Because think about it, if you're always kind of walking around or sitting with that poor posture, your body is going to adapt to that. It's going to start tightening up those kind of chest muscles and kind of weakening those back muscles there. Because why have strong back muscles if you're not going to use them? And two, it's kind of adapting to be in that position because we are in that position so often, right? So when you're putting in all this work to try and fix that posture and get into a better kind of rhythm and groove of things, really think about kind of walking around with proper posture as much as you possibly can so that is your new normal, all right? And, it never hurts to train core. Build up a nice strong foundation so that you can build on top of it, right? So those are kind of my recommendations for kind of what goes into poor posture and the different things that you can do to kind of start to fix those. So let me know if that helped. And if anybody has any questions, I'm always happy to help, always happy to answer. And let's get this going. Cheers.